Kitco Mining's special coverage of the Bank of Montreal's 32nd Global Metals, Mining and Critical Minerals Conference is brought to you by First Majestic Silver.
The diamond sector was particularly disrupted by COVID. Are we back to normal? I'm with Eira Thomas. She is CEO of Lucara Diamond. Eira, welcome back to Kitco.
Thank you very much for having us.
I have to say that when we had COVID, we noticed that the diamond industry is very much a hands-on business from where it starts and then the way it eventually goes to the stores right now. I imagine that there's been lots of change in the diamond sector compared to where the COVID at the beginning and after.
Absolutely. Diamond prices were discounted as much as 50% at the height of COVID. And for us, we made it a very strategic decision not to sell through that period. Fortunately, the government continued to advocate for the mining industry, and we didn't cease operations. So we continuously mined through that period and retained all of our employees. But we were not able to sell diamonds through COVID. But it was a pretty quick recovery though too, V-shaped recovery, and by 2021 we actually emerged into one of the best diamond markets that we've seen in 10 years.
You made some pretty, I believe, some counter-cyclical bets during that period as well, because you had some big expansions through Lucara. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we are actually celebrating our 10th year of operations at Karowe. We started production in 2012, and in 2019 we completed a bankable feasibility study looking at the potential for expanding our mine underground. And so through COVID, we were fortunate in being able to secure our first ever debt financing for the company. We raised $170 million, which will contribute, together with cash flow from our operations, towards a $550 million capital spend to basically take our mine underground and extend the mine life out to 2040.
There's a big gorilla in the space with critical metals, and then that would be Norilsk, and also what it supplies to nickel. And then on the diamond side, that will be ALROSA. How has the Ukraine-Russia war affected the dynamics in the diamond space in ALROSA?
Well, it's actually fascinating, because what we're finding increasingly as sanctions get tougher and tougher, that trade in Russian diamonds is definitely more difficult. And that is, supporting stronger prices overall. But what we're seeing is that the large luxury brands are really demanding transparency and understanding diamond provenance. So, we have a technology called Clara, which is really our growth project within Lucara. And Clara enables tracking of diamonds from source right through to, final retail sales. So this technology has really, gained a lot of interest. COVID was the first catalyst. The Ukraine-Russia war has become a second really important catalyst, and there's a lot of interest in these types of technology for tracing diamonds.
There's other competing technologies in this space. So ALROSA, I believe, has its Eira and Tencent in terms of traceability as well too. So. Yeah. Is it, how would you say, is the market sector around this fractured, would you say, or they have their different technologies?
It's interesting. The difference with Clara is that the provenance piece is just one aspect of what our technology does. We actually completely transform how diamonds are sold. So the tracking piece is something that our consumers are interested in, but the most compelling part of Clara, which no other platform is doing, is that we're actually selling rough diamonds individually based on specific demand using a digital platform. And there is no other diamond company in the world doing this. We've patented this technology, and we've gone from 20 customers during COVID to over 100, and we're gaining a lot of momentum. And really what Clara does is it's just making a more efficient marketplace, transforming a very antiquated supply chain, which is a push-style sales process, and turning it into a demand-driven pull-style sales process, which unlocks considerable value for both us as the seller, but also our customers as buyers, whether it's the midstream in the manufacturing of diamonds or even the retailers that can buy on Clara. So, traceability is definitely important, but it is not the only thing that Clara does.
There appears to be kind of a clash, would you say, between lab-made diamonds and mined diamonds. You have Blue Nile, which I believe has its lab-made diamonds line. There's also Lightbox through De Beers. How are you and the other miners coordinating right now, or how would you assess how good is the coordination right now in terms of advocacy for natural diamonds, as we've been calling it?
Yeah, no, listen, I think it's a great question. In my view, lab grown is a completely different marketplace to a natural diamond. And the reason I say that is that the technology is getting better and better, and it's really a race to the bottom. So, if you purchased a 1 carat D flawless lab grown 5 years ago, you would have paid several $1,000s for it. Today, you can purchase the same stone for $700. So we see these markets as quite bifurcated. We think that lab grown will continue to grow their market share. But when it comes to purchasing diamonds for life's most important gifting moments, they really don't compete in that spectrum. You buy a lab grown diamond because it's cheap. You buy a natural diamond because it's going to commemorate something important in your life, and it's going to retain its value. We really don't see lab grown as a threat. We see it as a different marketplace on a broad continuum.
How is the exploration space in the diamond sector right now? You have experience with it, but is there much investment in it?
No, and this is one of the big challenges. Global supply for natural rough diamonds is definitely on the decline. This is why we've seen strong price recovery in the last few years, particularly post-COVID, because there's been no investment in exploration. We know there's nothing coming along on the horizon that really can disrupt or change this supply shortfall that's coming at us. So our outlook on prices remains strong, but I do believe as a sector, we have to start getting back to exploration. We need to do that, but it's been difficult to attract that risk capital into the diamond space.
There was a nice bump to the final lot sale of colored diamonds after Argyle came offline as well. Is there any investment or people that are looking at that space?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, particularly over the last year, as we've kind of faced lots of geopolitical challenges and, of course, the economic pressures of inflation, we are finding that there are investors out there that are interested in buying diamonds as a commodity to stick in a safe. And so colored stones are coveted for their rarity. And then, we produce 25% of the world's largest diamonds. And so we are finding that there is an investment community that's interested in buying these larger, higher value diamonds to put away. And it's a lot easier to put $20 million worth of diamonds in your safe than it is gold bars.
Eira, thanks for speaking with Kitco.
Thank you very much for having me.
My name is Michael McCrae with Kitco Mining here at the BMO Conference.
Kitco Mining's special coverage of the Bank of Montreal's 32nd Global Metals, Mining and Critical Minerals Conference is brought to you by First Majestic Silver.